Hey everyone, and welcome. So today, we're digging into something that, let's be honest, we all love, ice cream. But what if I told you that it's not quite the villain we've all made it out to be? There's some surprising science here that could totally change how you look at your favorite dessert.
I mean, this is the question, right? For pretty much forever, ice cream has been seen as this ultimate indulgence. A cheat day food, something you feel just a little bit bad about eating. But is that really the whole story, or is there more to it? Let's find out.
And this is usually where the guilt trip starts. The common myth is that ice cream is nothing but sugar and fat, basically the textbook definition of empty calories. It tastes amazing, sure, but nutritionally, it gets a really bad rap. So let's see if that's actually true.
Okay, first things first, let's look at what's really inside a scoop of ice cream. Because this is where that whole empty calorie idea starts to, well, melt away.
Yeah, you heard that right. Because its main ingredient is milk, real dairy ice cream actually isn't empty at all. It holds on to a lot of the good stuff, the essential nutrients that are in milk to begin with. It's something we just don't really think about.
And when you break it down, the list is actually kind of impressive. You've got calcium, obviously, which is fantastic for your bones and teeth. But look at this. There's also phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, a decent hit of protein, and even key vitamins like A and D. I mean, these are things your body needs for energy and to keep your immune system strong.
This chart really puts it into perspective. It's not just one thing, it's a whole package deal of essential minerals, key vitamins, and protein all wrapped up together. So far from being empty, it's surprisingly nutrient-dense. Okay, so now let's talk about how it makes us feel.
So we've covered the physical side of things, but what about that happy, comforting feeling we get when we dig into a bowl of ice cream? Well, it turns out that's not just in your imagination. It's actual brain chemistry at work.
This is the real science behind the whole comfort food phenomenon. When you're enjoying some ice cream, your brain can release serotonin and dopamine. These are literally your brain's feel-good chemicals. They're the neurotransmitters that give you feelings of pleasure, happiness, and just general well-being.
So here's how it all plays out. First, you get that boost in your feel-good brain chemicals. That, in turn, can actually help lower your levels of cortisol, which is your body's main stress hormone. And the result? You genuinely feel more relaxed and happy. It's a real, measurable effect.
And wellness isn't just about vitamins and minerals. We can't forget the social piece of the puzzle. Just think about it. Going out for ice cream with your friends, sharing a pint with your family on the couch, that kind of social connection is so powerful for our overall health, bringing us joy and making us feel less alone. All right, now for what might be the single most surprising part of this whole thing. We all just assume that ice cream is a total sugar bomb that's going to send your blood sugar through the roof, but the reality is way more interesting, and frankly, it's pretty fascinating.
So to get this, we have to understand something called the food matrix. Now, this isn't just about listing ingredients one by one. It's about how they all work together as a team. And in ice cream, the sugar doesn't operate solo. It's tangled up in a structure with fat and protein.
And here's the magic of how that works. The fat and the protein that are in the ice cream actually slow down digestion. They slow how quickly everything leaves your stomach and gets absorbed. So instead of getting a sudden rush of sugar in your system, you get something totally different.
And this slide right here, this says it all. This is a comparison of the glycemic index, which is just a way to measure how fast a food makes your blood sugar go up. And just look at this chart. Ice cream often has a lower glycemic index than something like plain white bread. I know it sounds completely backward, but it's all because of that food matrix we just talked about.
So the bottom line is, you actually avoid that crazy spike and crash you'd get from other sugar things like soda or candy. With ice cream, the energy release is much more slow and steady.
So, let's zoom out. What does all of this mean when we put it all together? Well, it suggests we might need a totally new perspective on how treats like ice cream can fit into a healthy life.
You've got two different approaches, right? On one side, you have these super restrictive diets where foods like ice cream are completely off limits, and we all know how that usually ends. It can lead to feeling deprived and then binging later. But on the other side, if you thoughtfully include foods that bring you pleasure, you're much more likely to stick with healthy habits for the long haul.
I really love this quote because it just reframes the whole conversation perfectly. Once we stop thinking of ice cream as this evil nutritional villain, we can start to see it for what it actually is. A treat that's rich in calcium and can genuinely boost your mood.
And that's really the big takeaway here. This isn't about restriction versus indulgence. It's about understanding that taking care of yourself and enjoying your life, well, they don't have to be enemies. They can, and maybe they should, go hand in hand. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. We spend so much time focusing on nutrients and macros and all the things we shouldn't be eating, but what if we've been overlooking one of the most important ingredients for a happy, sustainable, healthy life? Pleasure itself. Something to think about. Thanks for joining me today.